Hello, everybody. You are listening to Tales from Tomorrow, our Fallout TTRPG Let's Play Actual Play series here on Twitch. As I smack and punch the microphone, it's out of excitement. I see myself as Rip Daring flying through the sky, and I can't help but swing my hands rapidly and punch anything in sight. Our TTRPG is the thing we host here weekly on Sunday nights. It is usually my friend Sky, Dark Knight, and Mac Raven. Tonight we're down a Dark Knight, though, and that's okay because we're at a really good spot. A quick recap for everyone. Our players had begun their first trek into the formal Fallout 76 map that many of you have come to know and love and play yourself. They made it so far down as the Tyler County Fairgrounds, got to see the Darling Sisters Lab, the Aaron Holt Homestead, which sort of lost two houses to the fire, a barn and a house. And we almost lost a Mac Raven to the fire, or I should say a Raven, her character, was almost gone, but got to travel away to a distant, ethereal space lantern, the home of the Mothman cultists, the wise ones at least, whether it's in the physical plane or something in between. That is a story for another day. But for today, our players had gotten back onto the boat. They were heading up to Hope. They were about to deliver some settlers who were losing their homes to the ongoing and increasing Mothman cultist threat, as the Mothman cultists seem to prepare for a war or some sort of inquisition upon the land. Settlers are getting nervous. They're starting to pack up and ship out. That means finding them a safe spot and a safe path to get there. Our players volunteered to get them onto their boat and take them up north to Hope, which seems like a good fit because they're bringing back 3 settlers, all who seem to be able to homestead on their own. They're taking with them Chop, their super mutant friend, who's been very accommodating of all of them, and his new buddy Bot, which is a sentry bot, which is one of the massive robots with the Gatling guns. It doesn't have working guns at the moment. Good thing for Raven, because she was being chased in the last episode by the bot. So a big hello to everyone that's watching us live on Twitch and or YouTube. We're streaming to both this week. Fingers crossed that our stability is all awesome and lovely. We will have a bonus episode that we record at the end of this, so look out for that. If you're one of our members over on Coffee, you can check that out on Monday. We'll just do a little decompress at the end of this and go into more detail. Oh, I think that's it for the housekeeping notes. As always, you can find everything else in the description below. So without further ado, let's set that scene. The players all on their fishing boat on the Ohio River, sailing up north from the Tyler County Fairgrounds, where they had parked along the shore, now traveling up. And we're going to toss it in here where our players can do a little bit of sightseeing, see what's out there in the waters, make sure that the journey there is a safe one. We never know what the rivers and the pathways of the wasteland bring. As you are all on your way north, you've all taken to different tasks on the boat. You all who regular and frequent this ship now have an area you like to be in that you find to be your space. You've got Chop and the sentry bot out on the back boat. Some of the settlers have taken up to the front, some in the cargo hold. Raven, why don't we just toss it straight to you to do a perception and survival check? Just difficulty 2 for me. Let's get a lay of the land as we're heading up the river. One success out of 2. Raven, as you're going up this way, everything seems fairly calm. You detect the typical sights of some critters on the shorelines, but not too much more than that. All seems calm and steady. With that, I'll give you a moment to type here, Raven, since she uses that, but I want to welcome you on board for this week. See if you're excited to get back into this. And let me know what Raven is doing in the meantime. What's she doing on the boat? Is she scanning the horizon? Is she tucked in and doing something else? What's What's she at where she's falling a little bit below the perception line we might expect of her? And while she does that, I'll go over, zoom in on Sam. Sam, where do we find you this lovely evening? Sam, played by our friend Sky. Where's he at in mind and body?
Well, I'm looking at the map, and I'm tracking how long it took us to get out here, and seeing if it lines up with the solstice, if we're going to be able to make it back out here in time.
A tricky observation as we find Raven fishing for food for the town. She's casting her fishing line over the boat. Raven, why don't you go and roll 3 combat dice for me? And Sam, by the way, if there's anything you want to be doing in this quick moment too, other than just thinking, if you want to do any kind of rolls while you're on here, this can be a great time to generate some action points for people. I don't know what your poll's at right now, but I could sure look. Oh, a full pool, actually. You guys may need to spend some points. We got a Raven typing over here. We got the settlers kind of moseying about. A lot of their supplies.
Hope I catch a big one. Jim looks strave.
Mac tosses the line in. I should say Raven tosses the line in. With 2 combat dice, Raven, you catch a big old fish. You fight that line. Pull, whoosh. Now, I don't know if there's actually a fish to give you in the rules here, but we'll work that out. You can give that to the town as food.
Holy goat, this one is fighter.
You think you can get that one before it breaks off the line? Raven's a skilled tracker and survivalist. If anyone can do it, it's gotta be Raven, right?
You won't keep me fishy.
Why don't we have you do a check, Raven? Just a difficulty 1. What would you roll for this, huh? Oh, where am I looking? I want to check. It's probably going to be a strength and athletics type of thing, to be honest. Let's see what our options are. Survival would be a really good one, too. You may have rolled one off the side. Strength and athletics. She does it. 1 success. Oh. But also a complication in there. Actually, I might be even giving you a complication on the wrong level. Let me check these rolls. Sorry, that's not a complication for you. You got by the skin of your teeth on that one, Raven. Feel the fish pulling on the line. Whoosh! You got it in the boat. What are you doing with this massive fish that you have? Irradiated as heck. It's got little protruding, almost like little angler bulbs on it, and they're sticking out like they're flashing these little dull, luminescent flashes as if trying to catch or attract some sort of prey. They even wiggle around a bit like they're, I don't know, prehensile is probably the wrong word for that, but...
Hey, Sam, is this one we could eat?
I kind of give it a look, and I wince a little bit, but we got to do what we got to do in the wasteland, so I'm like, yeah, it's probably fine.
Jim can go first.
It's when you sort of both notice Jim himself has taken down to the cargo hold. Probably to get some rest. It's been a busy time, and I doubt many people have gotten any kind of good sleep around here, so seems sort of expected Jim's going relaxing. But
We'll
Raven,
fry it up for him when he wakes up.
as you're both heading up the river even further, Raven, as you continue to fish, as you continue to get closer to Hope, you do notice more Mirelurk activity along the side of the shore. You see some Mirelurk skittering. Looks like some protecting probably what you presume to be nests over there. We still got some of the sound? A little bit. A little bit. It makes the other audio a little quiet when it plays it now. I don't know why it's ducking that. A little silly, but... You see...
Sam, there are a lot lurks around here that seems to their nesting area.
We better take it easy. Last time we came around here, there was a queen. And I don't think we're prepared at all to fight her.
I should not fish then.
Yeah, I mean, the one you reel in, it might, alert them. They might start going after it. And then you got a lot bigger prey on that line than any one of these little angler-looking fish.
I don't think Al can swim.
Yeah, and I don't want to end up in the drink, so let's take it easy.
Right, sir?
How about we have you all do a group stealth test here, a sneak, where we can, I think Raven's probably the best with it. So sneak and agility. We could have Sam assist. I'm going to say it's a difficulty 2, piloting this boat through what looks to be more and more active Mirelurk area. A failure on this test does not mean the Mirelurks immediately charge the boat, but just as a kind of idea of how stealthily. This might be one of those moments.
Can I buy a die?
You may absolutely. You've got a full action point pool. You probably should be buying dice right now. Good question. And if you succeed on even one, Sam gets to help roll to give some input. And this is sort of in lore, you kind of giving the signal to Alfred, to Sam.
One more die, please.
Okie dokie. Roll up 3 then. Take that AP out of your pool. Oh, there is a complication in there. That 19 that rolled in. That is a complication this time. I'm sorry, I got too overexcited earlier. Now, Sam is able to roll and help on this one, since Mac has succeeded with at least 1. This guy's able to jump in. If you could roll a sneak plus agility, or if you can think of anything else that might be more appropriate.
I'll try the sneak agility. Let's see. Oof.
And as you say oof, you all feel oof, as you can feel the boat hit something gently enough that you're not sinking, you're not damaged. But as some of you are standing near the edge of the boat, you look over and you do see the thick shell of a Mirelurk just below the water, traversing.
Eyes peeled, everyone. They're testing our hull to see if we're food or not. Let's keep
That
an eye
was
out,
close.
It was. Let's make sure that one of their pincers don't breach the hull.
Some of the... Go ahead.
I'll yell down the cargo hold to some of the people that are in there, and just basically say, like, "Watch out, gang! They're hitting up against the boat. Watch out for leaks." And I'll go and get ready up on top.
You feel another shake across the boat. Not, again, bad enough that you don't think there's any kind of damage, but it certainly is unnerving. Something like a whale hitting a boat, but knowing that, I guess maybe not knowing, are these things being hit in the process? The river is notably busier. And as you're traversing through this area, slowing down to make a bit of a quieter pass, you recognize you do have 3 uneasy settlers on the boat. You've got Chop, who may or may not be used to sailing, and a massive sentry bot who is sort of an anchor of its own. Raven says she gets her bow ready in case one does get jumpy. I think what you all take into account going next is that you can see some are migrating up north under the current of the river, that there's some who are traveling the direction you're going. A tenseness sets in over the boat as you begin to more readily hit those boom, boom. It's as if you're traveling almost over top of a river of Mirelurk going under the current of the water. Every once in a while, when one's too high up, boom, up against the side of the boat. I think some of you might be a bit concerned as to why or how far these Mirelurks are traveling. That if they're getting closer to Hope, you've already had to deal with that problem before.
I wonder if this has to do with the Mothman meeting.
You think that they're migrating due to the way that the moon and the sun are moving?
Maybe.
You with them off?
Some will go with the moon.
Small. I say we just try to keep trudging along until we get attacked. If it happens, then we can defend ourselves, but I don't really want to get any alarm bells going with these.
Yeah, there are a lot of them.
I know. And who knows if there's a bigger fish somewhere close.
There was Queen last time. I wonder where she went.
You know, that makes me wonder if they're following her. Maybe she already left.
She is the queen.
Yeah, and typically followers follow the queen. I just hope with the way that they're moving, they're not going towards hope.
I wonder if they're a king.
Be a scary duo for sure. We should try to get back as quick as we can and tell the townspeople what's going on. And hopefully they didn't beat us there.
With that said, Alfred, who's not positioned too far away from you all, says, Master Sam, I will do my very best to avoid hitting any clump of them that I can see, but if you can both do lookout and convey some of them at locations to me, it would be very helpful. Alfred's gonna go ahead and do a piloting roll here to see if he can navigate down this path. Luckily, he has good perception. And with that, I was giving Alfred a test of 2, difficulty 2, and he comes back with a 2. Alfred is able to, with his advanced sight, with Raven's keen eye, with Sam's conveying of information, able to successfully navigate past this disturbingly large sort of swarm of Mirelurks under the current of the water. Just below, you can see movement, you can see churning waters. But if you weren't on a boat over top of them, you might not know that they're there. Might not. As you were going up the river, I will give Raven one more a chance, given that conversation you all just had, kind of keeping your eye out for a Mirelurk Queen. If that's something you'd like to do, maybe we could have you roll a perception and survival. And again, that's something we can have Sam help out with if needed. Because you're looking for this queen and everything that's going on, still very calm day. It's not like this isn't some gusty, horrible, windy day. This is rather normal September, little muggy, but you're also by the water, kind of cooler vibe. Not too much noise is being had. Raven, difficulty 3 perception and survival, please, if you would be so kind. Ooh-hoo-hoo! Raven easily rolled a 3 on that. As you all traverse up the Ohio River, you notice a couple things. You do spot the queen at a distance. She is not on the main path of the river that you're on. She's gone off and is sort of between the mainland of the western side of the Ohio River. She's between that and one of those kind of island outcroppings, where there's some trees growing and things like that. She's taken up inside. They've kind of got her a bit protected, if you will, near the water, sort of in the water still, but in a calmer channel of it. She's almost off to the side of this raging horde that's going north. Whether she's taking a break, whether this is the new area she's going to, those, I think, are some of the questions that Raven might be left with. And you get something else in addition to this, but I'll let you guys. Raven wants to type something out here, too.
She is over there, Mr. Sam.
I see. It looks like she moved her brood to a safe part. Not as raging waters there, but they're getting disturbingly close. I'm starting to get a little bit anxious about their travel patterns.
Yeah, we should leave this place and maybe find something to thin the herd some.
Yeah, we may end up having to get a group and, unfortunately, taking out this queen. After that happens, they'll probably scatter, looking for a new one.
Or go nuts?
Discuss it with Tom when we get back.
Yeah, I don't know much about lurks, sorry.
Raven, the other bit that you pick up on as you're getting further up the river, you see a change in behavior, a tensing up in Chop when you do pass by the West Virginia lumber mill. He doesn't do much in terms of active aggression, but you can see a tension in him as you pass. And I think that's just something Raven might kind of squirrel away as knowledge for later. As Sky says, thank you for all being here in chat tonight. I appreciate it. We're doing this live on Twitch and YouTube tonight if you guys want to come out here in the future. Very fun. Now, Raven, the other thing you pick up on as you're traveling is that you see a potential to stop and loot. A rather grim and grisly sight. Even from the water itself, you can tell that at least you suspect strongly that what you're seeing is a partially consumed Brahmin and pieces of what look like what might have been a merchant or a traveling somebody. Could it have been the Mirelurks? That's the first thing on your mind, being so close by. Knowing that they're still active in all these parts, that they're still even traveling under the water, though less notable where you are. You would have the option, if you would like, to pull the boat over and inspect what you can only begin to believe is a couple boxes on the back. You see them strewn around, one of them even fallen into the water itself. Probably what caught your eye first, following the...
Sam, there's something over that look like bestie over there, might be worth looking at.
I see it. Alfred, pull the boat to the side real quick. We gotta go check this out.
Aye, aye, Captain Sam, I will pull us ashore in just a moment. Prepare for landing.
Hope it not rusty.
Start praying to the Mothman. I got my fingers crossed.
Mac, if you ever want to pray to the Mothman properly, you can just go ahead and roll a combat die and make sure I know. If an effect gets rolled, who knows what happens. Well, she's actually praying. Her prayer goes unanswered. Nothing. As Alfred wheels the boat over to the shore, you see, even with better detail and clarity now, one box, one crate, a barrel, a pierced barrel, some sort of liquid has already belched, sort of leaked out of it down the way. Some more crates. A skeleton of the front parts of the Brahmin still strapped into its harness, but other bits of the harness torn and shredded apart off to the side. The hind part of the animal taken off. And you see tattered remnants of clothing, fabric, something of that strewn across the ground. A body, pieces of a body, leather armor, a shotgun, some ammunition, some expended shells, a lantern, a lunchbox, maybe with the settlers or the person's food for the day. And a lot of loot that could be gone through. And at the moment that you hit land, you don't notice anything else immediately lurking. If you all want to run some more checks or do anything like that, or be, even more creative than the path I'm sort of setting up, you guys want to go and kind of do whatever, you're welcome to. Sky's the limit sort of this. But at first glance, having your experience in the wasteland, you may guess that this is just an unfortunate traveler. Who it is, we could investigate that too.
Wow, this lot of loot. I will watch for lurks in case they come near.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out. Is there any way you can you tell what happened here? Anything you can tell by the way that this animal was cut up about what could have done this? And also, are there any clues around here as to who this guy might be?
I can go check.
Yeah, let's dig a little deeper.
Wow.
Oh, heck yeah.
Wow. Raven rolled 4 successes on a perception and survival. With that amazing score, I think one of the first things you would clock in, Raven, is that you are not too terribly far from Rusty's farm. You are still south of it, though. In fact, you are probably, I don't know if this is all synced with all of you back there, but you are probably a little bit of an area you've not been to before, but you've been all around it. This is not terribly far south from where you actually had retrieved the boat. And it's not terribly far up the river from the West Virginia lumber mill. It is kind of over the hill from the lumber mill, out of sight. You may guess that this person could have been headed to Rusty's, maybe. You can immediately clock this is not Rusty, though. With what skin remains behind, you can tell this is not a ghoul. But documentation and papers are rarely carried in the wasteland, or they ever provided. So upon searching the body, and what's left of it, you don't see a name. Again, no ID card per se. It's someone who's dressed fairly average for a human in Appalachia at this time of year. They've got, kind of that Appalachian button-down sort of thing we see a lot of them wear. Some leathers.
It looked like one of Rusty, maybe new hires maybe, and the Moo don't have Ribian, not Rusty.
With Raven's fantastic survival and perception test, I'm going to give you guys some goodies as you poke around in some of that cargo, assuming that's your plan. And with such a great score, I would say as much as this. Some of this cargo is immediately useful to you. For example, Raven quickly, kicks one of the sides of those boxes and finds an emergency medical kit containing, I should screenshot this stuff for you or something like that, containing a diluted stim pack, a diluted Radaway, a dirty water, and a full stim pack. You also notice, though, that some of this loot, or whatever, loot, probably what it is now, you notice that some of these are less useful supplies. For example, you may guess that one of those barrels that had burst open was oil, like lantern oil. And with the other one there, maybe you think this is stuff, if you're interested in taking back to Hope, kind of just keeping in your overall stash pile. Finders keepers in the wasteland if you want. But before I kind of pass it back to you both, just to say, I'm going to get you more both some loot here to look through other things. But Raven,
this great haul of loot, we could fix up the town too with it.
My last thing to say is that I think you'd notice that with all this stuff left behind, it probably wasn't a person or like a bandit style raid or whatever that took this person's life. That's also pretty determined by the lack of skin on the animal and the person, but just worth saying.
Can I take the shotgun mentioned earlier as well as roll for the ammunition?
Yes, you may. It's a pretty crummy shotgun. Well, you know what? I envisioned it being a pretty crummy shotgun, but why don't we leave that up to the fates, actually? So the ammo. Roll 3 combat die. It's 6 plus 3 on the shotgun ammo. So 2 extra. So 8 shotgun shells. And then I think there's like a legendary effect roller here. And I kind of want to do something like that where we end up rolling to see if this is something fancy. Because had envisioned, just a pretty boring old, like pump action or something on this. Let me even look at the shotguns here. Look at my weapon choices. But that's the fun of having to roll with the punches in these games. That's not the grid I want. Weapon grid. There we go. So for shotguns, there's a double barrel, there's a pump action, there's a combat, and there's a Gauss shotgun. And what are our rarities on these things? Out of curiosity, does it say this grid? It should. Aha. So yes, I had envisioned a pump action shotgun, and I'm gonna take a roll here. some effects. And then maybe we could come to an agreement on what sort of thing we want to roll to see if this guy, like, it actually rolls this way. So it looks like it might have the enraging effect. An enraged weapon confuses and infuriates foes so much that they cannot tell friend from foe. When this weapon inflicts damage on an enemy, you may spend 1 luck point to enrage the enemy. An enraged enemy must, for the rest of the scene, attack the nearest enemy they can see. Well, you guys have a lot of action points in your pool. I may suggest some sort of test to see if this is actually a legendary weapon. Almost like a stand-in for an identification spell or something of that sort. Could we have Sam, Max saying go ahead and use it. Sam, do you have a test that you think would make sense for this? Because I'm going to look at my grid here and give it a thought. But if you have something you're pining for, think it might really work for you. I would say probably not a charisma in all fairness, but something more physical. Sure. Let's see. Small guns check on its own, maybe?
That's what I was going to suggest, actually. Identifying weapons through small guns.
Yeah. I think difficulty 3 on this one, if that's cool. We could do difficulty 3. You've got a lot of action points to spend. If you succeed on this, you get a badass legendary. If this test fails, you obviously can use your luck in other things, but it is if a failure comes by, it's still just a regular pump shotgun. So, maybe if it comes by with a big complication, though, it might also be a broken pump shotgun, just as a warning there.
I will pay 3 because this could be very useful if we do end up fighting a swarm of Mirelurks.
Nice.
So that's 2, right?
To buy 3 dice? Is that what you're saying? Sorry.
Yes, with 3, is that 2 dice?
Yes, correct.
With 3 AP. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let me try it.
Nice. Great work. Sam scored 4 successes, which means you get 1 of that AP back. So you just lost 2 AP, but you got yourself a pump action enraged legendary shotgun out of that. I will post that effect into the Discord chat here. May that shotgun serve you better than it did its owner. In fairness, though, maybe that was one of the wares they were trying to sell and, only got it out of its sort of, I don't want to say packaging, but get it out of its enclosure. However, they had it sort of strapped in there. Didn't get it out in time.
He didn't have shotgun surgeon.
And also, what do you have? Action Boy or something? What's the one that makes it so you can draw your weapon without minor action? You got that, right?
Quick hands, I think.
Quick
draw.
Quick draw. Thanks. What do I need to do for this test? I don't even know what this test is that I've created. I just created it without paying attention. Fair enough. This is fine. I don't even know what I rolled. I don't know what table I rolled on, but I'm taking it because I like it. Raven again. We're rolling with the fact that Raven, and I like giving out some good loot. You guys have been on a good adventure. A little bit more boring stuff, but necessary for travel. You can see this is probably the provisions the person had. You see some casual clothing there in a bag. You see some wrapped away squirrel bits, fresh at that, maybe leftovers from last night's fire. You see 2 cans of cram. And you even see a jug of Brahmin milk, maybe from this very same Brahmin. But some extra food you can pocket for the journey ahead. Now, I will ask, I think in the sort of the last bit of what you're looting from here, is there anything that you're particularly looking for? Because considering this is a Brahmin a pack Brahmin's, cargo. There could be everything from the mundane, the cram and the milk and the such, up to fancy weapons, as you just saw, or technology, maybe something else that you're looking for in that way. If there's something you're looking for, feel free to write it out. We'll see if we can find that for you. Oh, I would actually say also, that's a great use of the luck mechanic in the game, too, that if there's something you guys are really looking for, might be able to use that to try and coax something out of the divine.
I'd like to see maybe what type of armor is around. What kind of armor was he trying to hawk? Perhaps combat?
Let's see. That's a great question. Good. Random. Do. Okay. Interestingly enough, Sam, when you look at some of the armor that's there, you're reminded very quickly that you're still in Raider country. Whether he's trying to sell these goods, whether he found these goods, whether he himself was a Raider in his current or past life, you see some sturdy Raider armor for the right arm and torso. Well, actually, I'll be more specific. It's considered sturdy Raider armor for the right arm, and then just Raider armor for the torso. I'm putting that picture into chat.
Raven, check this out. Do you got any use for some of this Raider armor?
Let me look, Sam.
Yeah, Raven in chat says, this is chill episode. Nice time to resupply and get more lore. Exactly. So I leave it all very open to you guys on that note of trying to get lore. If there's more things you are looking for, this is a great episode to kind of do any kind of deviations you guys want. Again, I think there's somewhat of a familiarity of this area to all of you. This is a stretch of land, though, that you've boated past and even on the road walked past, but you've not actually walked this ground. You've been a good, off into the tree lines distance away always. It's just a place you haven't stepped before. Who knows what's there? I don't even know what's there. Except his dead trader. He's there. Was there. Parts of them are there.
I could use it. I don't have any armor.
We'll try it on for size. Raven, I'm also wondering, with all this gore and viscera lying around, any way we could pick up a trail, see where maybe this thing went to?
Sure, if you want to.
Wouldn't mind doing a little bit of exploring. I could stretch my legs after being on the boat.
With that plan in mind, we will take our AFK break for the night. We are 1 hour into our session here. So we will step away for 10 minutes. Everyone go stretch your legs, get a drink, and come right back. we will pick up with their next stage of the adventure. Ravens rolled a great perception and survival check there. So some very interesting travels ahead, I have no doubt. We'll see what areas they find and troubles they get into in just a few moments. But until then, everybody, you stay safe out there. Again, we'll catch you in 10 minutes. I've got a new little BRB screen that mirrors our main one here because we're doing this live on YouTube tonight. So keeping it nice and YouTube friendly. What else is there to say? Hey, while I step away, why don't you all get involved with the Discord server? If you're here on Twitch, I think the bot will respond to that command. He doesn't over on YouTube yet. We can get that fixed. But hop over to our Discord server. Great place to join in on the fun. We are now starting to do a lot of Fallout 76 weekly events, so that's a great place to get involved. And also, if you decide to become a paying member over on Ko-fi, if that's something you can comfortably do to financially contribute to the stream, that goes directly into helping me maintain this wonderful software we've been using. Everything's getting more expensive, like out the wazoo for every piece of software. But the cool thing is, I feel like we've got a setup that really works. Sky and I were talking before the show how much we love things like Dimension 20 and are really inspired by content like that. And so we hope we bring to all of you an interesting performance and just overall professionalism. I know I've said this 1,005,000,005 times, but we're going to do the multi-camera stuff in the future soon. This week was just about making sure that we could multi-stream on Twitch and YouTube at once. I've just not done it with this software, but now it works. So that's one thing checked off. I don't know if people at home will notice this, but hopefully I sound a little cleaner in my audio. I was using a really bad preamp on my mixer for like 2 years, a year and a half. I bought myself a new mixer in the January of 2024, and I just thought to myself, wow, it must be such a sensitive preamp that's picking up all this like ambient noise in my room, and that sounds, like I've got a room problem. That's not talking about the echo in this exact office, but just in general for multiple spaces. And the other day it started to buzz on the line, and I swapped ports on there, and I went, holy crap, I've been using a crappy preamp for again almost 2 years. So little tech improvements, little tech setbacks, one step at a time. That's how it works when you're a sort of a single guy production, and three of my friends here hold it down in the RP sense. But with that said, sorry, I've talked a little too much. We'll go BRB, take your 10-minute break, relax, and come on back. Okay, Wastelanders, we're back to it. Hello. Got some ideas of what's to come. I'm looking forward to our return to hope. We got a Raven typing. We got a Sam, a Sky back.
Mac is BAKC.
Backsy.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, everyone. We had just left off with the exploration and discovery of a lot of loot on the side of the river, as you had started to pick through the belongings of a deceased merchant and their Brahmin. Did you all decide to start moving any of the loot, the other things, onto the boat? Mac had made a comment that stuff could help the Town of Hope. Again, things like lantern oil and other more generic basic supplies. Because the next thing I know is people are on the hot pursuit of some sort of critter that might have done this.
Yeah, I think before we do that, we should move some of this stuff back. We could probably get Strong to help us. Not Strong. I keep getting him mixed up with the dude from Fallout 4. We could get Chop to help us.
By the way, Sky, you're coming in very quiet, and I can't boost you anymore. Sorry.
Hello.
Hello? We'll hope that's better. I think I heard most of what you said, though, about it remind you strong from Fallout 4. But you're seeing if he can help you get the stuff on the boat. Was that what I heard?
Yes.
Okie dokie. So with their help, some of those extra supplies get loaded. And I believe Raven is tracking this viscera. Now, most of it, Mac, your initial thought from being on the boat was this was probably a Mirelurk attack. Especially given their proximity to the area here, their prevalence. Is that still your...
I don't lurk, did this, Sam?
That's worrying. I wonder what else it could be.
What's Raven suspecting?
Jim did it.
I think Jim's asleep.
But maybe he sleepwalks.
I don't know if Jim has the capacity to do something like this.
Yeah, maybe.
Is Raven's official assessment that Jim did it? Matt Raven says maybe. I'm a little bit confused as to what to tell you guys to do in that moment. Yes, and so if Raven thinks that Jim killed this person, then what would Raven do next? Is her plan to apprehend Jim, to execute him, to ignore it? I mean, if she's sitting there and seriously considering that Jim killed this man, that you guys have all been together for the last 48 hours south on the river, you would suspect then he maybe has some ability of teleportation, where when you're not seeing him, maybe he can travel further. I think Raven's being a little bit funny about it. The clues point to a Mirelurk having eaten this person, as most of the viscera and the boxes and the rest all slide down into the river. It's also possible, Sam, that Raven is compromised and may be having delusions right now, where she thinks that Jim did this. That might worry you.
Well, Sam, he did touch
Sam.
that orb. Maybe he got some power.
I think we can keep that on the back burner and maybe just keep investigating. Sure, it could... anything's possible, but I don't think we should lead with that as our primary case.
A pang of worry goes through Sam where he thinks that potentially Raven's communications with the Mothman or wherever she's been, maybe just some sort of cognitive impairment due to being asphyxiated in a refrigerator during a fire, all comes to mind. It's odd to see Raven so obviously... I don't want to use the word wrong, but so obviously incorrect in her tracking skills. Of course, you can see, Sam, with your medical skills. In fact, if you want to go ahead and roll a what would you roll? Intelligence and medicine test. Difficulty 2. if you could. Three successes, great. One back to the point pool. Sam, it doesn't take too much looking to see that this man was torn apart by probably something with large pincers, and that it has a craving for any sort of flesh it can get a hold of here. What worries you in this 3, again, is that for Raven, a tracker to be maybe so obviously misguiding you brings a foreboding feeling. And you wonder whether Raven is misdirecting you because she has something to hide, or whether she's just, again, compromised. Your friend's had a rough 24, 48 hours. Maybe she's been infected by the Scorch. She was the closest to them. She also had those mushrooms that had infected her and tried to devour her. You wonder if, like in her story about Brother Charles the Wise, that maybe Raven's touching of the source there is decaying her mental state. I think those are some things that might worry Sam.
I hope that was a bad attempt at a joke. And proceed with caution as we move on. I tell Raven that it obviously was a Mirelurk that took him out, and there's no way that Jim was capable of something like this, even with a machete or something along those lines. These were ripped apart by claws.
You sure, Sam?
I'm pretty positive.
And Sam is trying to have
Well, you're the doctor.
this conversation with Raven. She heads off, walking north, daring that Sam's explanation is, at least momentarily, insufficient. Raven looking for some sort of proof that Jim somehow came up here to commit this crime, this heinous act. She sets off north, only for her to be so taken by this paranoid delusion that she misses a step, or maybe it's as if the vine itself grabs her ankle, causes her to trip. The vines that are just about perfect ankle height. And Raven, boom, 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 head over feet, slides down, rolls down an embankment into the water. And as Raven begins to put her hands down into the muck to push herself up, she realizes that she has crashed directly into a Mirelurk egg nest.
Ouch. Oh man, that not good.
Oh no.
Sam,
I
you're
hope
far
that
enough.
isn't a trick.
Pardon me, go ahead. I was saying you're far enough behind that you are not in that with her. At least I'm presuming, unless you want to have chased her and rolled down there with her. That's completely your choice. But presuming that she goes in first, you are probably a little out of earshot to her. You're kind of up this embankment, a good, probably like sort of, knowing this river, a good 5 to 10 foot tall thing she slid down. Sorry to cut you off there.
Do you think you'll be able to climb out of that, Raven? I can try to come assist you, but I want to be able to also see what's coming.
I can try their eggs down here.
We should probably cook it first. But if you want to try to grab a few, just be careful.
You want some?
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty big, so I could feed quite a bit of people. Just be careful. If you smush them in your bag, it's going to get that yolk all over. It'll be a mess.
Omelets tonight.
Omelets tonight. So as you go to kind of recover this situation, Raven, we're going to have you roll a difficulty 4 sneak test, and you are going to have a very, very high difficulty rating on this test. Let me see here. You're in about a precarious situation, as I've ever heard. I mean, not treacherous, maybe, but precarious. A 17 to a 20 would be considered a failure or a complication.
I will buy a die.
Sure thing. So again, high difficulty. It's difficulty 4 test here. With that 3 successes, you are able to toss about 3 Mirelurk eggs up to Sam.
Can I reroll that 20?
Yeah, if you have luck left. Do you have luck left? You may. Or some other mechanism that allows you to.
3 luck.
Okay, yeah, you can use a luck point to reroll that. Come on, anything less than a 17. Okay. Did that also count as your 4th success then too? Because the target number, so I think that's 4 successes. What a critical smashing success. With that, you get 3 more Mirelurk eggs that you toss up to Sam.
Fresh eggies.
This was a good run. Let's try to get you out of there now.
Now to get of here.
I'm inclined to agree.
Talk about the fun of yes ending, folks.
I think I can crawl up.
Just let me know if you need any assistance.
You want to roll a test for that, Mag? Actually, I would say this is one of those ones where it, again, is probably a difficulty 0 test, because you could probably get up there very easily. I'm going to make it a difficulty 1, but again, you're going to have really high difficulty on this. So 16 to a 20. Okay. I don't presume you want to use your last 2 luck points to reroll both of those dice.
Oh, goats.
We can try to walk along the riverbank and see if there's a shallower area for you to climb up. One that's not as steep.
I'm also going to say that with that double...
Man, I must be losing it, Sam.
I'll let Sam add to that. Or not. With that said, Raven, with those 2 critical failures, as you're climbing up this muddy embankment, you slide the whole way back, and this time with a loud as you crash into the eggs, one of the clutches that are nearby. And you feel behind you as you lay on your back with the shards of egg around, you feel movement from both where you landed and now movement around you to your sides as you hear more of these eggs crack open as you see Mirelurk hatchlings begin to emerge from their shells.
Sam, they're a hatching.
Oh, no. Get
We
ready.
should run.
We can try. I don't know where you're going to be able to run to.
Oh, Mac, your character feels an intense pain in your upper right arm as one of these Mirelurk hatchlings gets you for 5 points of damage. Do you have damage resistance on your upper right arm? Or your right arm. Sorry. That will be the if you have damage resistance, that will be the
Yes, I do.
how much? That damage resistance will be, that is what's going to keep you from having a broken arm. Lucky it didn't pierce right through your shoulder and hurt you big time. 5 points of damage. So you take as much, you subtract your damage resistance from that. Let us know how much you get hit for.
You said right arm?
Yes.
If she put on that sturdy raider armor, then she should have some.
Heck yeah, Raven. Good timing on the armor then, huh? I didn't plan that. That's wonderful.
It looks like it's 2.
So you take 3 damage. The second hatchling to your chest, 3 points of damage.
I will follow the river, Sam.
And to your other side of your torso, nothing. You get lucky on that one. That guy missed. He gets a critical failure. One of them gets stuck in its egg casing and can't get out of there. Can't get you. So Mac, you took what, 3 points, and then another. What's your torso defense? Damage resistance.
I have 4 horsepower left.
Well, you got to figure out what's your chest defense, because you took 3 more damage, but you probably have a 1 or 2-ish damage resistance on your chest. You are right now have looted
A 1.
a 1, so you take 2 more points of damage. So far you've taken 5 points of damage from the Mirelurk. There's only 3 of them so far. And now is all your time to act. What are you going to do? You could go out into the river, but there there's a massive undercurrent of Mirelurks going by. So that's probably a death sentence, right? You've tried to get up the embankment that you slid down the first time, and that's what has put you in this more precarious mess where you've fallen back into them. You've woken up a couple You're lucky that, like, no others have come by yet. Does Raven have any, like, can she tame animals yet? Which reminds me, we're probably at a point of a level up soon. I'm so sorry, everyone, too. I've forgotten with all our kind of back and forths. We had started doing the 3-point leveling system where, like, every 3 sessions you can approximately guess to level up. I believe I had given you... Does anyone remember? I think you got the skill point and then maybe the health point, and then up next is the actual perk itself. By the end of this episode or next, you guys might be at a level up stage. I'm so sorry that I haven't kept a better tab on that. Hi, Leo. Okay, Raven, what are you going to do now? You got 3 of these Mirelurks on you. Are you going to try and run out of here a different way? Sam, maybe you could just get help from the boat? Raven's rolls are keeping her in the pit, it looks like.
Do you have a stim pack, Raven, to heal yourself?
I do.
Okay, you should probably do that before you die. I'll go see if I can get some help.
Yeah, Sam, you can go back to the boat. You run back there. You're not very far from it. Probably all of like a 3-minute run.
I
maybe
will
not even
heal
that
with
far.
HSTIM pack.
Sure. Go ahead and use that. 4 HP back if you're using a regular stim pack. Sam, who are you hoping to get help from the boat? Because most everyone's there. You know, people are, the settlers you got are all on kind of defense now, looking, you know, around, keeping an eye. The sentry bot still in a fairly powered down state to keep it so it wasn't, you know, making a mess on there. Chop is there, of course. You could try and, you know, take him off the boat. He's loaded up the supplies that you requested.
I'll grab Chop and Alfred.
Okay, sure. Master Raven has fallen, not ill, but down an embankment. Oh, Master Sam, we've got to save her. We can't let her become lunch for a bunch of baby Mirelurks. Chop goes, I will help puny Raven get out of the ditch. She should be more careful. I thought she was seeing future. Not very well, huh?
She didn't predict this. I appreciate the help, gang. Let's get to work. She's getting eaten up out there.
So as you get over to that embankment, Raven, one more of those guys gets a swing on you. 0 successes. 0 successes. 0 successes. You must have gotten yourself into a nice little spot, kind of wedged up. Maybe you're kind of like holding on to like one of those trees that's growing out of the side of the embankment. You kind of got yourself wedged up there, having a hard time getting footing to go up the whole way, but enough that these Mirelurks pinching at your feet can't get any more grasp on you. Chop and Alfred and everyone comes running back over. And Chop, honestly, is probably of the size that he could... Yeah, we'll have Chop do a quick roll. Hi, Louie. My doggo's here saying hi. Hi, baby. You've been outside and everything. I hope you took advantage of it, Lou. He's going to have a difficulty 1 to see if he can strengthen athletics kind of down this embankment himself. Easy clap. He gets a 1. Chop launches off the side. When he lands, he smashes 2 of those 3 Mirelurk hatchlings that are at your feet, Mac. And he's going to do another strength and athletics here. His first instinct is to kind of grab at you and, like, he wants to kind of throw you up there. But even Chop, with that kind of footing where he's at trying to grab you, he is unable in this first test to do so, Raven. Maybe you could use a helping action from him, a strength and athletics of your own, or athletics and agility, and see if you can kind of pole vault off of him. That's the wrong word for it. Maybe you could jump
Thanks,
off of him.
Chop. I jumped to you.
Go ahead and roll that thing, Mac. Difficulty 1 here, now that you got a help in hand. Well, difficulty 2, and he'll give you a 1 if you... There you go. Easy. With that, you jump towards him, and he sort of pushes off of your feet as you jump over, and you are able to like use that reverse momentum, go up the embankment, and you're helped by Sam and Alfred, who grab at you and pull you up the rest of the way. Chop himself, being a lot bigger, he can do one more test as long as he gets a 1. Come on, there we go. With that, Chop, he's able to grab that kind of branch, kick his foot into the embankment, kick another foot in. He's sort of just going up that way. He's brute forcing it, and he climbs up to the very top, gets out of the Mirelurk den with very minor, well, maybe not minor damage, just a raven, huh? Taking 5 points of damage from Mirelurk hatchlings is probably not a good start to the day. But again, you didn't die, and the Mirelurk Queen didn't eat you. But maybe there's a question too, where is the queen to all these Mirelurk hatchlings? Is it the same one that's down the river? There are more than one? What's the scope of this sort of infestation that's taking over the Ohio River? Back to the boat time?
I do think.
Maybe I was wrong about Jim, mutter to myself.
Yeah. I think we should head back. It seems a bit dangerous out here.
You all get back there in no time at all. Load up aboard the boat. Chop gets on, Raven gets on. The supplies are nicely loaded, and you're rather quickly overflowing a fishing boat. You got some barrels, probably of, like I said, oil and other supplies. You've got some what looks probably like some building materials in there as well. Some more valuable junk, maybe even. And Alfred pretty expertly steers the boat out of that location. And you begin the last leg of your trip. As this adventure has quickly grown in scope and scale, you are making your way up the river. You see the Ohio Bridge as you scoot past it. And as you see the last sort of outcropping of embankment and such that obscures hope, right before you get to see the town, you hear the radio crackle to life. Sam, you there? This is Tom from Hope. I got a report you might be heading up the river.
I'm reading it, Tom. We're on the way.
Hey, it is good to see you guys back up here. We got some spotters out there looking out over the road. We've got some real bad Mirelurk activity up in these parts. I don't know if you all have caught it, but a couple of them have been coming up this way. There were some things that attracted them to town. But look, Sam, who all's with you in that cabin right now?
I got Raven, Jim, and we picked up a few homesteaders out at the Groves family cabin. Their names are Reuben, Marlene, and Ted. And then, you're never going to believe this, but I got a super mutant here with me named Chop.
You got a super mutant on board there? Is this...
He's a good guy.
Well, speaking of good guys, Sam, I'm going to need you all when you pull into the harbor here. You got to I want everyone to stay on the boat. You come off the boat. Come catch up with me real fast. Things are going and changing and everything's in flux. So whenever you get here, just make sure the crew stays on the boat. Come see me.
Sounds good, Tom. We'll be there soon.
With that, the radio returns to silence and static.
Does Tom sound funny to you, Mr. Sam?
I turn to Raven and I say, I was thinking the same thing. That's a bit strange. Keep your eyes peeled.
I'll return our folks at home to the beautiful town of Hope. As your boat now sails into eyesight of the town, things look normal. You see a little hustle and bustle out there. You see, notably, some dead Mirelurks on the embankment where you're used to already having fought them and seen them. This looks troubling given everything you just went through, but it doesn't look out of the ordinary for the town. And in fact, the idea that they're dead on the embankment itself is a good sign. There's not any obvious sign of damage. You see guards manning the posts up there. One of them kind of waves you into the dock. And that's where I'll flip us to our little bit of a tactical map. Oh my goodness. I don't... What is this alchemy? What is this map? Alchemy is for some reason, I don't know what's going on. You guys know this whole map, right? I don't have to be sneaky. Alchemy is for some reason decided to remove a lot of fog of war. Reveal all. There we go.
Did the 76 bug come here too?
Probably. So, you all pull up to the harbor. Everyone at home can kind of see this. Trying to get it so I can put like chop and stuff down here too. View? No. I gotta get a custom marker for chop. Because we're in turn order. Oh boy. Oh, I got a lot of NPCs loaded in here. Oh my goodness, this town's big. There's a lot of people. Well, I'll fix chop a little bit later. But you all pull in to the harbor. Sam, are you going ahead and following that order? Are you guys doing anything extra? What's your plan after that little dialogue with Raven?
I suppose that I'm gonna have to follow it. I don't foresee. I mean, Raven might be able to sneak around town, but I mean, if they got watchers that were seeing us come up on the river, then there's probably people watching everywhere. So I might just go ahead and see what Tom's is up to.
Very good. As you walk off of the boat, you see people who are just milling about like they usually would. There are some guards there by the water that have come to be recently. And Sam makes his way. He said that he's over, he kind of conveyed it to you, that he's in his office where the radio systems are. So Sam, you go in, and I guess this is the first time I get to show off Tom's little scene on the screen. Tom Clifton's Hope's leader, roboticist, tinkerer, and radio comms operator. Sam, you like to give that little knock on the door. Does he do that this time like always, or is this a little bit more of a tentative approach?
I'll do it for old time's sake, but still, walk in carefully.
You knock on the door. And Tom's eyes scoot up from the computer screen to greet you. He says, Sam, good to see you. Glad you're back. What the hell mess did you all leave us with before you took off down on your little adventure? Is Jim on that boat?
Yeah, but he's been indisposed for a little while now.
Well, he's about to be indisposed for a long time. I have reports here that whenever you all left, he killed a person in this city. Is that true?
I'm afraid it is. It was one of the Eightfold Path followers. I won't lie to you, Tom. It's obvious that your intel speaks louder.
Well, that is a goddamn shame. Sam, look, we brought you into the city here. Thought you're doing good stuff, helping out the town, but your buddies can't be going around killing folk. Not under our protection and our watch. I don't know a lot of the motivation behind it, but it's not even me who's trying to line up a firing squad. It's old Mayor Smiles there. He's got a protocol. When one townsfolk kills another, well, he thinks there should be a good old-fashioned hanging in the town. And I can't say he's wrong in the sense that we got to keep some kind of order. And if you all bringing people back here to kill him, what makes him any different than a raider? Tell me that, Sam. How's Jim different than a raider if he's going to act like one?
Well, Raven and I weren't there. But from what I know, I think it was self-defense. I think that those cultists, they were coming after him for touching their orb.
Well, when you say it like that, it sounds like they acted in self-defense against a theft. And then your friend killed them, making it, an armed robbery with manslaughter or murder. I'm not a lawyer. Never was.
I mean, it was as simple as a transgression as me picking up this wrench here. I think he just picked it up to look at it. I don't think he was intending on pilfering it. But regardless, I thought that this town was a little bit more civilized than just hanging folks on the street without some sort of a trial.
Well, that is exactly why we have you quarantining your friend on the boat. The mayor wants a trial, and I think your friend has got a whole batch of people who are willing to stand against him. He's got about seven people who are vouching that he murdered one of their friends, their family members, in cold blood. And I gotta say, Sam, look, it's not an easy subject. They honestly seem quite nice. They're a likable folk. They've been hospitable to us and vice versa. Jim's a little standoffish. Don't really know the guy. He's now making some heinous acts here. What are we doing? I don't think Mayor Smiles going for blood's certainly the right answer, but it's the vault-tec answer, it would seem.
I mean, Tom, you've been around. You've seen vault-tec's answers to a lot of things, and most of the time, those answers aren't good. But, how long do they have to come up with whatever story that they told? And they're going to follow with whatever the Eightfold speaker says. So, their testimony is only as good as their speaker.
Well, right now it's 7 versus 1, effectively. You just said you weren't there, and that's fair. You're not on trial here, but I'm just telling you the lowdown that the mayor's working with. That your friend killed one of theirs in their house that you guys put them up in. I mean, it just doesn't look good no matter how you shake a stick at it. What, you said picking up this wrench. What's the difference of him coming in here shooting me if he wants that wrench, if I try and stop him?
I'm hoping that there's more to this, that he can explain. Like you said, I wasn't there. I don't know what was going through his mind, but I know Jim, he's a good guy. And whether it be a momentary lapse of reason or something, bigger going on, there's all sorts of wild stuff happening under this potential, Mothman equinox that's happening. Maybe there's something deeper to it.
Wow. Well, it's not exactly the homecoming that we had hoped for with y'all coming back up this way. Well, more specifically, it wasn't the departing we wanted to see from y'all either. I think you could have a talk with the mayor today if you'd like. He's up in the church town hall, probably calculating the exact parameters of the hearing. I would just say, if you got a silver tongue, Sam, maybe you could talk him out of it. But again, I want to see you guys come up with a good defense. If you think you can get Jim out of it, by all means. But he'll probably wait 24 hours after Jim's arrival here in town before he wants to proceed. Very procedural guy, after all. And like you said, I know vault-tec doesn't do good, but their system is rebuilding this town, one building at a time. And to be fair, all cards on the table, Mayor Smiles has not brought a flesh-eating bacteria. He has not, fungus, pardon me. He has not brought Mothman cultists to town. I'm just saying, he didn't kill a guy in cold blood in the city.
I will get with Mayor Smiles, and I'll talk to Jim when I can. In the meantime, are the rest of my friends allowed off the boat? We got a group of hungry and tired people.
Yes, if you can go break the news to Jim and the people on your boat. Let them know. We'll have Jim stay on there. He can have some rations taken to him. Unless he'd rather, I'd said unless he wants to spend his time in the jail, but the jail's not in any kind of shape for that. I'd say keep him on the boat tonight.
You can post guards on the dock to make sure he doesn't escape if that make you feel more comfortable.
Well, we'll see what the mayor ultimately wants to do there. I'll leave that to his discretion. Good luck, Sam. I hope... Well, I don't know. I hope things calm down around here. Once and for all.
Me too. We got supplies to unload, though. Found a merchant out in the wastes. He had been killed by some Mirelurks. Seems like he won't be needing it anymore, so we got a couple barrels of, looks like fuel and a couple other things.
Well, now that's very welcome. The Mirelurks have been hitting the embankment pretty hard recently. They've been testing, feels like they're testing our defenses. I don't know. They actually think that complex, but we've been killing more than our fair share the last couple days. I don't know if it's breeding patterns or what. We're trying to get some tech that might help repel them. Foundation has been giving us some key intel from Blue Ridge Caravan Company of all places. They've been toying with a sound. You probably heard me mention this before. Sorry to say it on repeat to you, Sam, but they've been working on some sort of audio frequency that'll keep them away. Not sure that the results from the other tests have been swimmingly going. I don't know. They've told us some horror stories, to be honest, about more creatures sometimes being attracted to it, that the setup phase is quite a doozy.
Maybe we can try testing it, because There was something else I wanted to mention to you. On our way up here, we did see the Queen, and it looked like they were migrating. I mean, Tom, there were countless of them in the water. They stopped on an embankment kind of south of here. But I'm worried that they're migrating north and might eventually end up coming through here.
Well, that is some troubling intel. Our scouts haven't really gotten too much further south than where they saw you. And we got in touch with you on the radio. We'll be sure to get back in touch, get that stuff going on. Hey, look, maybe Jim can even use that as part of his get out of jail free card. Maybe the guy put him to use if he's got a hands for fixing. Maybe get off a little light sentence if he can get this thing working.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe the frequency is wrong. He could tinker with it. Maybe just reduce the sentence to community service.
That might be an awfully good defense to try. Good luck, Sam. Let's hope that Jim isn't added to the cemetery anytime soon.
Fingers crossed. Thank you for letting me know everything, Tom. I'll see you shortly. And I will head back to the boat to deliver the news to the gang.
Sure. Yeah.
On the boat, I'll tell everyone to gather around. We got some bad news. They're not happy about what Jim did to one of the orb cultists. And they're wanting some old-timely Western justice done to him. We're going to have to think of something to get him out of it. But whenever he gets awake, he's going to be pretty surprised. I mean, maybe not too surprised. There's, of course, going to be consequences to this. But we just got to see what those consequences will be. In the meantime, they've allowed us passage into the town, so Ruben, Marlene, and Ted, if you want to start unloading your stuff, you're free to.
Marlene asked, are we under suspicion of being some sort of criminals here? Is that what's happening? We're suspected your friend, both of us, all of us, suspected of killing a man?
Right now, they only got eyes for Jim. There was something went down, a little bit before we left on the boat. And he got himself into a pickle. But they only want him to stay. Everyone else, they're free to roam. They've got nothing against you.
Wow. Well, Ted, let's get the hell out of here. It was thanks for the ride. We're gonna go now, and thanks again for everything. We really appreciate it. Thanks for, yeah, and some of the sort of dock worker type people that are over there now, start that unhauling process. As you had gone in and kind of given people the word, given the signal. Some of the guys over there, guards and stuff, begin helping haul stuff off of the boat. Couple of them eyeballing and looking around with Chop, kind of looking at that sentry bot, thinking like, how can we get this off of here? Like, maybe we need to get some sort of crane here eventually so we can start doing like some bigger lifting or whatever. And, them along with Chop, they're able to kind of get its wheels up onto the ramp and guide it very gently down the dock there. Alfred is aboard the boat with you. Sorry, there's still old Rusty there. He's not along for this ride. I'm sorry, I never got rid of him. But Alfred grabs you and goes, "What? Master Jim is being charged with murder, Master Sam. What a completely unexpected surprise."
Yeah, buddy. It's looking grim, but hopefully we can weasel our way out of it. He's a valued asset to this town, and I don't know how many people around here are as handy as him, so we're going to see what we can do to make sure that he stays safe.
Yes, Master Sam, let's make sure he keeps his hands. That would be very important. He's very handsy and should not be allowed near anyone with a weapon. That's for sure.
Told you Sam Jim was killer, I whisper to him. See, look, the town look bloodthirsty.
Well, Raven, we knew this happened, and, there wasn't a time too long before this that they were bloodthirsty against you, so we got to do what we can to help our friend. He would do it for us.
That is true.
In the meantime, I'm gonna link up with Rusty to get his idea on maybe what we should do. I have a feeling that he's helped someone get away with murder before.
I don't think Rusty's here. He was
No, I'm talking about on the radio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're going to try and call over to Rusty?
Yeah, on his little barn farm radio.
Sure. Yeah, you dial it up for using the boat communications. You finally...
I will watch over Jim and make sure no one touch him.
Finally get a hold. Hey, Sam! Hey, how you doing, man? Good to hear from you. You're live. Where are you now? Down in seeing the beautiful sights, Foundation, let me guess.
I wish it were so, friend. We met some people along the way that we had to bring back to hope. And now we've gotten ourselves in quite the situation.
You took a whole trip back there. You didn't even call me to see if your old pal Rusty needs a ride. Oh, Sam, I'm so offended. And by the way, one of my friends who's coming up here to bring me some stuff also didn't show. I hear it's not so friendly on the roads these days. So watch your step. But you gotta include me, man. I need travel under my wings.
Sorry, friend. We were at capacity at the time.
All right. Well, what's the situation I can help you with? You're looking up to join up with a new raider warlord. Who can I patch in with today?
I actually needed to talk to you, buddy. Yeah. You ever done any lawyering back in the day?
No. I stay out of courtrooms. Too much talk, not enough action, not enough sights, and not enough, I'd say good smells, but I don't have a nose anymore, so what do I know about that? But no, never done any lawyering. What's the problem? You got a lawyer on your back.
We need one ourselves. You had to have watched some of those shows back in the day, though, right?
Sure, absolutely. Love them. Still got some hollow dramas of a couple great cases. Maybe if I could beef up on that, I could be your lawyer for a day.
That's what I'm hoping for. I need some help trying to get someone off for murder.
Who'd you kill and how many?
It weren't me, but old Jim. He's got himself in a situation. Remember those orb cultists?
Oh, that crew. Yeah.
He got in a bit of an altercation with them and took one down, and what I'm trying to dispute is self-defense.
Well, that's a heck of a situation. I thought you guys were the friends of them. I thought you guys brought them to town and were trying to bring them all in and do some big old kumbaya thing.
That's what I was intending, but it seems that, it's just some sort of misunderstanding happened. And both of them, either of them, got trigger happy, and one of them ended up dead.
Well, I guess Hope's not really a big old Wild West town, is it, huh? Not just draw your guns and shoot them up. They got some real laws, some real party poopers, huh?
Exactly, and now, the law of the town, that Mayor Smiles, he wants to hang Jim. That's some old Western type stuff.
Well, that seems mighty unfortunate, because as far as I know, not because I triggered any sort of security systems or anything, but it seems like the mayor is tapped in directly to those security protectrons that I wouldn't know much about. So he actually is kind of the law up there, isn't he?
Yeah, now he wants blood for blood. And, I certainly would like to see not only I would certainly not like to see my friend and also our tech guy end up on the end of a rope.
Fair enough. Now, look, Sam, I gotta ask. I know it's probably gonna offend you, but look, lawyers, they're known for one thing, and that's how much you pay them. So the question I got is, what do I get out of this? I mean, Jim's a fine guy, but I don't know what he really did for me. Maybe something along the way. But look, sounds like I don't know the specifics, but sounds like if he killed someone and the mayor wants blood, let the mayor get him, or not. But maybe don't even listen to the mayor. Maybe it's time to have a coup. Maybe I kill the mayor, huh? Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, I don't know if it's time to do a political overtaking. It seems like he's helping actually get this place in some sort of a good shape. But in terms of payment, remember that merchant friend that you mentioned earlier?
Yeah.
We have his stuff. So maybe we could trade that off.
Wow. What? Wait, what? You found my friend.
What was left of him? I hate to tell you, buddy, but seems like the Mirelurks got to him first.
That's not good. But you got the merchandise, huh? Yeah, that's right, Sammy boy. Smarts. Packing it all up on the boat, taking it with you. That's what I like to hear. What are we looking at? Anything good? Anything's not eaten or otherwise destroyed?
We got a few barrels of it left. I don't know exactly what's in all of it, but I know there's some sort of fuel, among other things here. They might have already taken some off of the boat, but whatever's left is yours.
Okay, I can work with that. Keep some of those crates sealed. You don't know what's in there, and maybe it's better if you don't know. But keep it closed up, ready out. I could probably make my way there in the next day, especially if I get started now. Sooner the better. You can call me what would you call me? Rusty Dusty Lawyer Man. I'll be there for you, Sam. I'll get Jim out of this, or at least I'll get you his belongings if they do sentence him to death. Promise you that. You can at least we could split his goods 50-50.
Well, hopefully you can make it with haste, because they've given us 24 hours before, all these proceedings begin.
Whoop. Okay. I can do that. I can do 24. That's not a problem. I'll be up there. Well, I guess I gotta ask. You guys got that fancy APC up and running? In any way you could send anyone down to come and pick up old Rusty? These bones ain't getting any less dusty as time goes on.
I can see who's available, most certainly. Maybe they can come pick you up. It should be functioning. It's just got some damage on it.
Oh, well, nothing we can't patch up. Hey, how's your friend Lana holding up?
That's something I need to find out.
Well,
she might be the one who comes to pick your smiling face up.
She loves it down here. Great time to get away to the farm. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, Sam, well, look, I'll get me back with some specifics. I'll be packing, and I'll be waiting for your ride.
I appreciate the help, buddy. Get brushed up on those holotapes.
I'll do that. And he hangs up. You hear the static return to the receiver, or transmitter, whatever. Sam, with Raven in the room, Raven now having to grapple with all of this news as well, as you all, along with Alfred, kind of process the next couple steps. Alfred says, Master Sam, have you gotten a chance to talk to the mayor yet? I mean, maybe you could talk him out of it before all of this goes down. We don't want to see Master Jim killed for his indiscretions.
I'll give him a talk. But, I'm worried that whatever he's coded with is going to override whatever silver tongue talking to him I can do. But we'll give it a go.
Well, if you'd like, I could come with you. Maybe the mayor would respect a dashing young debonair sea captain like myself.
Sure, buddy. You've been locked up on this boat for a while, so if you want to go ahead and stretch your arms, be my guest.
Oh, well, I will. I'll come with you. Let's go see the mayor. And you all head out. Raven, I don't have you with them, but you may attend if you wish to do so. It looks like the crew heads down here to the church, where you walk in. Hell's Bells over here in the equipment room. She sees you kind of come in here, Sam, and she gives you a nod. She's taken some inventory. You can tell the stockpiles are being opened and gone through, probably in result of the Mirelurk attacks on the town as of the last couple days. Supplies getting sent out to soldiers, etc., etc. As you go in with Alfred, you see the mayor, who's sort of just standing at the pulpit type of thing, just hanging out fairly well in I don't want to say completely powered down, but he's sort of in a semi-inactive mode. Lights are still going, but he is not emoting or doing anything like that. As you walk in and get closer, his sensors do pick you up though, Sam, in Protectron fashion. He goes, oh, actually, hold on. In Protectron fashion, he goes, hello, citizen. Welcome to the mayor's office. How may I assist you today?
Hello, Mayor. I wanted to talk to you about Jim Wayne.
Searching. File found, located. Jim Wayne, criminal, murderer, stands trial in 23 hours and 45 minutes. Is this the person you're requesting information on?
Yes. But Mayor, I'm telling you, it was self-defense. Are we going to be able to use that as a case?
Self-defense. Searching. Vault-tec Smile Protocol indicates that self-defense is a rarely successful defense in terms of aggressive murder in one's own quarters assigned by the city. In this case, your friend has murdered innocent civilians inside their home. Law dictates that the victims have the right to stand their ground and defend themselves against hostile invaders. Your friend or companion, Jim Wayne, has been listed as a hostile invader.
How often are pleas of insanity successful?
Pleas of insanity are successful 80% of the time with appropriate remediation efforts.
What defines remediation efforts?
Searching. Depending on the crime, efforts could be such as community service, committal to a psychiatric facility, or lobotomy. These are the only parameters that come back at this time.
Let's hope that we can do that community service.
You've selected community service. If your friend is found innocent, your friend would be let go with no attached crimes to their record. If your friend is found guilty, your friend will be forced to complete community service set by the preceding judge.
Who would be the preceding judge?
In this context, I would be the judge, considering I am the one versed in vault-tec, smile, authority, and law. We are in a post-nuclear environment, and therefore, traditional American law is bypassed in favor of vault-tec, community standards, and guidelines.
And I'm assuming that vault-tec didn't put in a jury of your peers.
Scanning. A jury of peers may be convened if there is reason to believe that this trial has corrupt intentions.
I think it could be argued that there could be corrupt intentions, seeing as we have 7 people in a group that resembles a cult that had plenty of time to corroborate a story before any defense was made or arrest.
Thinking. Consulting American law for precedent. In pre-war America, Sam, it was normal for cults of individuals and corrupt officials to circumvent any law they wished. In a post-nuclear environment, such acts cannot be tolerated. Vault-tec has firm standards against manipulation and subversion by hostile invaders. In this case, you are arguing your friend has a conspiracy against him by a cult of new arrivals that your friend brought to town. Is that correct?
Yes.
If you wish to convene a jury of his peers, you may do so now. His court session begins in 23 hours and 35 minutes.
And I'm allowed to pick the jury?
Jury will be vetted upon their arrival.
Alrighty. If that's everything, I appreciate your time.
Thank you, citizen, for helping make Hope a safer place.
I am going to head back and check on Jim. Now that we have a DK here.
Mr. Handy, Alfred, is with you along the way and says, I'm sorry I didn't speak up, Master Sam. He was quite committed to that directive of his. Fascinating. But if you think Jim could be awake and would speak, we could approach him with the subject matter.
I head down to the hole. And I go to check on Jim, see if he's up and moving. Jim, you there?
Man, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah, they're wanting blood for the murder that happened before we left.
But you understand I had to do it. You know I hate these people and don't believe in their nonsense.
Well, that's not a very good defense, friend. We're going to have to go with something a little bit different. That's going to definitely end up with you on the end of a rope. And that's what they're asking for.
Any chance anyone in our group here is a well-trained lawyer?
Funny you mentioned that. I actually just talked with Rusty Dusty Bones
Me.
over the radio. Yes. Raven, with the accusations you were making against him earlier, I'm not inclined to believe that. But I was on the radio with Rusty Dusty Bones, and he's on his way now. You know, he's not necessarily got experience with lawyering, but he's got dozens and dozens of holotapes of those old dramas. So he's going to get brushed up on that. This is, you know, at the end of the day, this is about as a kangaroo court as the ones in the show. I mean, we're being judged by vault-tec and a robot at that. So I was able to convince them to get us a jury. We'll be able to...
Look. We're just supposed to sit here and everybody's just supposed to take the side of a robot. You know, I could just go behind the back and just pull out the panel and take out a few wires, and we could be done with this.
I don't think it's wise to get in more trouble than you're already in.
Well, fair enough.
Rusty's gonna come. We'll see what we can do with him.
Sam, we could have chop him.
Then what then? Now they're gonna be wanting to kill the super mutant, which, you know, I'm sure that not everyone in this town is super happy that we brought him here to begin with. They don't know him like we do.
Then
So,
Chop becomes mayor.
I don't know if that's how it works.
Look, I may be against certain things, such as cults and whatnot, but I do know that you can't just become mayor by killing the original mayor. There's got to be a process. I mean, pre-war they had to vote their way in. You can't just it's not king of the hill. This is not how that works.
Yeah, I agree. We need to find people.
That's
be on
how
the
it
jury.
work in my tribe.
Well, we're a long way away from your tribe. And I don't think that's going to work here. I think that they're wanting some sort of visage of justice. So, let's figure out who's going to be on this jury. I think that, you know, there's plenty of people who would go to bat for you. So, maybe we can use that to our advantage.
Can I be one, Mr. Sam?
I don't know if they're going to let us be on it. I imagine they might have us testify, seeing as how we were close to the incident.
I mean, if I had my input into this, yeah, they would think that if you were anywhere near the jury, they would find that as kind of rigging it.
I agree. We're going to have to pick townspeople. People like Lena, Terry.
Listen, Raven. Look, the
Tom.
bottom line here, Raven, is that they're giving us at least the opportunity to pick our own jury, and so if we can pick people that we seem like they would, you know, lean towards us a little bit, we might have the opportunity to get past this.
That's what I'm hoping for. Lena, if she's up and around. Jacob.
That would leave the Orbs guys out.
They're probably going to testify themselves as well. And they've got a really solid, I mean, it's 7 against 1. So we need to try to get it on our side as much as we can with the jury pool.
How many is on this jury?
Let's say the mayor gave you 5 slots to fill for the jury. Remembering that the mayor is reserving the right to screen people out at, their discretion.
Lena, Tom, Terry, Jacob, and Hell's Bells.
And how many to find Jim guilty or not?
That
Well, it has to be.
was not
It has to be
discussed.
it has to be a majority.
This is vault-tec rules. It's not U.S. Constitution rules.
3 on 2.
I guess we'll have to figure that out.
Well, hell, I mean, with vault-tec running this show, who's to say that they won't just outright be like, yeah, everyone found you guilty or not guilty, but we're going to go ahead and override that because we're vault-tec,
I think
Him, I
that-
like my idea better, but you guys are smarter than me.
I think that at that point, with some of the most influential people in town being there, that's going to cause more problems for Smiles than us. Because if that robot goes against what the word of the people chose, then maybe they'll see that he's not good for the town.
Well, one can only hope that either we get out free or that happens, and otherwise who knows what I'll be forced to endure.
We'll have to see what happens. I think we should gather some of the folk that we've been talking about, tell them what's going down, and figure it out from there. We have just like about 23 hours until this goes down.
Well, there's not much I
Yeah,
can
what
do
is
from-
pushment, Mr. Sam?
Well, they said that we'd get the option to choose what the punishment would be, but who knows? They may end up giving me a lobotomy.
That sound fun.
Oh, of course, it sounds fun to you. You're the one that likes to do Mothman dust.
Do you think you could plead insanity, Jim?
Can I
mean,
have one?
And truthfully, what made you do that? And is something like that going to happen again?
Well, we all know the real reason why I did it, but I mean, I could probably put an act together. I mean, I'm not a Hollywood actor, but I tend to act out in my own private situations.
You were high on my dust.
No, but like I said, I tend to, as a child especially, I was the one acting out scenes and pretending I was in my favorite movies and my favorite things and cartoons. And so, I mean, I could probably put together an act and we could get out of here on insanity, but it all depends on that robot deciding whether or not it wants to grant me that insanity.
I think that could be plan B, because I was thinking, based on something he said to me, when we were talking about self-defense, he claimed that it's unlikely to work if it was on property that was given to these people by the city. But if we could argue that it wasn't the city that gave them that property, and that technically it was nobody here, Alfred, who gave it away. I mean, he was the one who had the most right to it than anyone. Maybe Maybe the old owners had some sort of will. Maybe they loved that robot enough to put him in it. And maybe we could argue that that property was Alfred's property.
It's possible, but that would be the hardest thing to do. Is then we'd have to essentially be arguing that robots are humans, that they are persons, and I don't know if people are ready to accept that.
Well, we're arguing this with a robot. So maybe we can appeal to that.
Well,
I mean, the robot is taking a human's job of being judge, jury, and executioner. So perhaps we can use a robot in our defense.
that might work. Look, I'm no use to you. I'm sitting in here, so you might as well get working on finding our people and seeing if we can get things in motion.
I'll do that. We'll bring you some food.
Will Smile do the Lobo? He has big hands. Mr. Jim, you have small head.
Raven, I don't know what your deal is with obsession with wanting me to get a lobotomy, but you go do it yourself if you really want it so badly, because I've got too much stored in this brain that I can't afford to lose it.
I'm also hoping that we can argue to them that we can't afford to lose you. We need that kind of... We need, that brain working here.
Maybe we could also mention that I'm the reason we were able to clear out the police station from those protectrons.
You also helped get power here.
I did. I built...
that is true.
I built that generator, that windmill. I did.
Don't tell them that I nearly killed the town.
You're not the one on trial here.
No.
Alrighty, well, you relax, Jim. We'll bring you some food and some drink.
Alright.
And I guess I'll get back after I speak to all these people.
Alright.
Sam, as you exit the hall of the ship, you see a hovering Alfred in the captain's, the piloting area of the boat there, cabin. And Alfred says, in a sort of hushed tone, he goes, "Master Sam," and he kind of ushers you out to the back of the deck. He goes, I should not eavesdrop, although it's one of my favorite hobbies. I must voice my concern to you with the way Master Jim spoke about the mayor and robots, and how I now sound like I'm getting roped in to his defense when I find it highly offensive that he suggested that we just destroy the mayor, hack his systems, reprogram him. I am appalled, Master Sam, and to think that I have to go in and defend him because this house that my owners have was given to these cultists who are rather kind people, all things said and done, yet Master Jim's streak of insanity led him to killing them, whether or not he was high on drugs like some ruffians in the streets, or whether I will not be a part of it, Master Sam. I won't. Not if he's going. He has not shown remorse. He was showing quite the opposite. He sounded giddy about wanting to kill those people. It sounded like he was planning on doing it again. I can't stake my good reputation on it. And as a reminder, Master Sam, I am owned by this city. I am a citizen here, which means that if I gave that land to your friends, then the city gave that land to your friends. I am a integral part of this fine meshed machine that is the beautiful, stunning town of Hope. I am a helper of the communications officer. I am I am respected, and I will not have my name or my master's property dragged through the mud for some tweaked out raider.
You've been with us for a long time, Alfred. You know that that's not Jim. There must be something deeper to his feelings here. He's not a tweaked out raider. Perhaps some of this Mothman dust is getting to him, but I'm sure deep down he does feel remorse.
Well, I should certainly hope so, because I didn't hear any remorse from him. Master Sam, I think you're going to have a time putting together a trial, a jury to stand this trial and vote in his favor. We'll be lucky if the mayor doesn't take those hands. After all, I just must express to you my disappointment that I came to this dock right here 5-10 minutes ago with the utmost intention to defend Master Jim, but with the way he's speaking, like you say, maybe there's something wrong with him. Maybe he should be having his head get looked at. Maybe the mayor is right to suggest that he is insane and should have those consequences of his actions. I'm deeply troubled.
I am as well, friend. Perhaps you could talk to him, knock some sense into him.
Well, I don't know if that's a wise decision. Is that sincerely what you wish me to do?
I don't know, buddy. I mean, I don't speak for him, so I'm not sure what's going on. But if you're worried about him getting into your processors, then maybe you should stay away.
Correct. It sounded very flippant, as if he would do it at the flip of a hat as soon as he's happy or unhappy. And ultimately, Master Sam, if he's trying to subvert the law of our gleaming town to suit his crimes, that's why I use the word raider, sir. How else could we look at him? And yes, I've followed you all quite a while, but his behavior with these cultists has been nothing but antagonistic.
I don't know. There's much we don't know about Jim. Who knows what happened in the past? Who knows if their paths have crossed? Who knows if this is some sort of trauma response? I'm not sure. But I guess we'll have to get down to the bottom of it regardless.
Well, I suppose we'll see where the future takes us then, shall we? With that being said, we are late into our episode here for today, so I think it would be wise for us to begin to wind this down and allow for your jury selection and such to take place in next week's episode when Rusty comes to town, and you guys have a week to plan a defense against the mayor's strong accusations. Any thoughts? Any lingering thoughts? I was kind of cut you off a little bit there too, Sam. You were going to maybe say something.
Oh, it's all good. It looks like Raven tells Jim that Al is mad at him.
Well, I haven't seen... Oh, Raven's typing. Yeah, so Raven went and told Jim that Al's mad. Did Jim have a response to that?
Until next time.
Good answer. Good answer, Jim. In chat, Max says, we need new Jim.
I sent a message to you, Kyle, about Jim.
I saw that. Am I supposed to say that out loud? Maybe I am supposed to say that out loud.
Sure.
Raven sent me a message that says she overhears Al talking to Sam and starting to wonder if Jim really did kill that guy on the embankment that she saw earlier. Wow. Is Jim the equivalent of Jack the Ripper, Mac, in the Fallout space? Did he kill a Mothman or an orb cultist? Did he kill the traitor? Did he kill? Has every human we've seen?
The orb got him.
Wow. Touched the orb and lost his mind. Well, these are the mysteries we're going to leave you with until next week, everybody. That's going to bring this episode of Tales from Tomorrow to a close. When we join you next time, we will pick up with this beginning or pre-trial. Got to get to talking to Lena, make sure she's okay. Yes, Max says tune in next week, and there'll be a recap episode that we do and publish to our coffee page and to our Substack. That will be tomorrow, Monday, August 4th. You can expect that. If you want the link to it, it's ko-fi.com/overseer Kyle. There's going to be a lot of goodies. And one of the things I need to work on tonight, and I was working on it last night, was the second print of the zine, because I've got a lot more information under my belt since the last time I poked and prodded at it. Oops, get this overlay. There we go. So again, this bonus episode on Monday, this one will be syndicated to YouTube on Wednesday. Saturday, you can look out for a new Overseer's Log. I've kind of got a fun format to those now. Fun, maybe the opposite of fun. I've made a rigid one that helps me think things through. I've got a post up on the Discord server now going through all the content we published throughout the week. So I finally have an outline to follow in the Overseer's Log, but fret not, there'll still be lots of rambling and lots of deep dives in those as they come in the future. Also, a reminder to come join us on twitch.tv/Overseer Kyle, because we do our... Do I have a thing for this? I thought I saw it. Maybe I don't have a button for it? Promo. There we go. I should be on this screen while I talk about this. There we go. We've been doing Fallout meetups on Friday nights. If you're in 76 on the PC side, we meet up there. But we do this all on Twitch, so you can come and hang out in the chat there, should you wish. Again, I said the case review, the Overseer's Log. There'll be a new Vault broadcast, I think, this Thursday. As long as our interview gets nailed down Wednesday night, we'll have a new episode with who I believe is a cosplayer and more. I'm a little weak behind in my own notes, but we're getting a whole new group of people queued up for the Vault broadcast, so look out for that in the future. But I'm going to leave you there. Everything is at overseerkyle.com. Get it on the Discord server and get it on the fun. Again, we're just trying to drive people out to have fun in the community space. Big shout out to everyone that hung out with us across Twitch and YouTube tonight. Awesome turnout out there. So thank you a ton. I see Goonies Girl out there in the end. Thank you, Goonies, for being here, and everyone in between. Thank you to Sky, who played Sam, Dark Knight, who played Jim, and Mac Raven, who played her character Raven. We'll see what trouble or lack of trouble they get into on next week's episode. Until then, until Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we will see you later. Enjoy the batch of content for the week. And don't forget, I don't say this ever, like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification icon on YouTube so you don't miss out. This is the Tales from Tomorrow YouTube channel, and the other one I have is the Overseer Kyle YouTube channel. So subscribe to both. Get tons of content. See you next time in the Wasteland. Bye-bye.